The beauty of the Conversations with God material is that it gets increasingly more sophisticated in its explanation of what's going on and how it's happening. So the first book is like, the primer. It's a beautiful book. It's a wonderful book. People love it, but it's a primer. You compare that to Communion with God, and you're talking about two whole different levels of comprehension. And Friendship with God right in the middle there. So it just gets increasingly more sophisticated. I believe it was in Friendship with God where the 4 levels of creation were explained to us. And those levels, again, are the subconscious, the conscious, the superconscious, and the supraconscious. Now, if you're creating from, or if that which has been made itself apparent or manifest in your life has been created at any level other than the conscious level, you may or may not be able to access that level of consciousness and therefore be aware of what was going on there. Masters can access almost any level of consciousness at will. Those of us operating at a level somewhat lower than mastery might find it more difficult to do so. There are times when you can access those other levels of consciousness, but usually can't do it at will. If you can, you've reached a level of mastery. That is, you understand the totality of your being. Most of us are hidden from that ability, and for reasons, by the way. By design, I might add. That's not an accident. Like, oh, gee, I wish God must have made a mistake. Didn't let me do that. Our access, or our limited access to the full awareness of the 4 levels of creation, our limited access to the full awareness of our consciousness is by design. When you become aware of the 4 levels of consciousness and all the information they hold about everything, you become the Christed one. You become the Buddha. That's what happened to the Buddha under the Bodhi tree. He just woke up one day and went, I got it. I just got all 4 levels. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, isn't this simple? I got it. We'll talk later about the beauty, however, of the design and the wonder of the process by which we have not quite gotten it yet that allows us to experience what we're experiencing and the reasons therefore. But let's not do that right now. Somebody make a note that we need to talk about that. Ed, flag that and let me make sure I make that a topic of discussion here. Why it's like that and what that process is about. But right now, let's talk just cleanly about the process. There are 4 levels of creation. And unless you're operating at the level of mastery, you probably do not have access to all 4 levels at will. However, you don't need it. That's what's so beautiful.
Yay.
Yeah, that's what's so beautiful. It's not like you're handicapped. The fact is, you don't need access because you are an entirely creative being. And the purpose of your beingness is to create, and pure creation requires access to nothing except will. That's all that pure creation requires access to. Will. That is, what will you have now be true? And so will power becomes an extraordinary tool in the evolution of humanity. In fact, there's a book out called The Power of Will. I highly recommend it to your reading. The Power of Will. So, creation requires access to no level of consciousness. It merely requires access to your choice, right here, right now. So I say to people who ask that question, and I'm asked that question a lot, why would I create this? I say something quite revolutionary, that is revolve, that is, it turns it around. Like a lazy Susan, it's a revolutionary. By the way, you know what's interesting about things that are revolutionary, like a lazy Susan is revolutionary, that is, it revolves? There's nothing new. It's just another side of the same thing. People think that revolutionary means a brand new thought, a brand new idea. No, it's just you just turn it around. You turn around, what was always there? There's nothing new there. So it's nothing like woo-woo about it. It's all right there. So we turn the lazy Susan around. And we say, when you ask a question like that, I don't understand. Why would I create something? Why would I bring something like that into my life? I don't know, if I create everything that I create, why would I create that? And the master says, stop looking over here for the answer. The answer is not over here. That is over your shoulder. That is in your past. The answer is not in your past. Stop exploring your navel and trying to figure out why you did that. The answer is in your future. The answer is out there. Why do I choose for that to have happened? What? I said, why do I choose for that to have happened? What I'm saying to you is arbitrarily give it a reason. Stop looking for the reason that you think you gave it before, or that someone else gave it, or that the universe assigned to it, or whatever, because you're trying to access a level of consciousness to which you have no access. Rather, step outside of that paradigm altogether and simply assign it a reason. Give it a reason, quite arbitrarily. When you do that, you move into the space of pure creation. And suddenly, you have willpower. If you enjoy what you've just seen, consider making a donation so that you can have even greater access to more downloadable media and other content as well. Or visit our store and check out our calendar as well.